Hi guys, this is the part 9 of our e-commerce project in Django. So in this part, we are going to work on those register and login, and also our account app will have a dashboard for our user where he can track his shipping items, and also he can change his address that he have given onto the registration page, his shipping address, so he will be able to change it on dashboard. So all that stuff, we are going to create another app in our Django project. So just open your Django project in VS Code, and just so make sure that you are in your virtual environment and in your e-commerce directory. So here we are going to create an account app that will hold all that registration and login, all that stuff related to accounts. So let's begin. Just type Django admin start tab and account, and then enter. So on the left side you will see your account app is created. So now in the e-commerce settings, in under that installed apps, we are going to tell Django that we have created another app account, and just put a comma, and after that comment it as an app and save it. So after that, go to your account tab and press the left mouse key and create a new file, urls.py, and just go to your urls of in urls.py in your e-commerce project directory, and just register that urls.py file of your account app. So path, actually I am going to register under that cart. So path and account, and we want to include our account dot urls. Just make sure to put comma at the end. So that's it for our urls, and just make sure to check the spelling of your account app. It should be the same as you mentioned while creating your app. So after that, save it and go to the urls.py and just follow the drive principle. So if you open your cart urls.py, we want again that thing in our account urls.py. Just paste it and just close that tag. So we also want a view in our views.py. First we are going to create a register view, and we are going to just pass an HTTP response, so to just check our views and urls.py file is working. So just import from django.http import http response. So after that, go to your register view and return that HTTP response, and in that response just type registration. So just save it and go to your urls.py in account, create a URL for that and name it register, and also in views we have created a register view. After that just name it as register and put a comma at the end and just save it. Now run your server and go to your server, and in your address after 8000 put a forward slash and then account and then register. So here you will see that registration, it means that our URL and views.py file is working correctly. So now come back to your project, and first we are going to create a form.py file for our create a user form. So for our registration we are going to create a create user form which will inherit the built-in user creation form from Django auth.forms. So let's do it. Go to the account and create a new file. So it will be forms.py, and in that first from django.contrib.auth.forms import a user creation form. So after that we are going to import a user model from django.contrib.auth.models import user, and after that we are also going to import from Django import forms. So after that we are going to create a class with the name create user form, and we are going to inherit that user creation form in that class. And after that we are going to create a class meta for our metadata, and in that class we are going to pass first the model, and our model will be our user, and after that our fields. So our fields are going to be user name and email and password 1 and password 2. So after that we are going to validate our email. So to validate your email we are going to create an init function. So def init, and we are going to get the attributes of our uh, above class meta by passing the self, and again we are passing the arg and get quarks. These are the default arguments, and here we are going to say super create user form we are going to inherit that class in that function, and by self we are going to obtain that username, email, and password fields so that we can access them. And again we are going to pass init, and we are going to pass the args, args, and wargs. So be sure to put s in your init function, and after that we are going to uh, make our email required when a user is creating when a user is registering. When we want our email field as mandatory, so we are going to comment that mark email as required. We are going to say that self dot fields, and we are going to pass email, and after that we are going to say that it is required, and we are going to setting it true. So by the self we are accessing that attribute of our class meta. So after that we are going to define another function to for clean email. So just comment it there, clean email, and after that we are declaring a function clean email and passing a self in it, and after that we are going to say email is equal to self dot cleaned data, and we are now, and after that clean data dot get, and we are going to get the email entered by the user through that email field, and after that we are going to make some validation. So we are going to check that if user dot objects dot filter email is equal to email. So if in our user registration email is equal to that email variable, so what we are going to do, we want to check that if it exists, that if the user entered the email that is already registered with another user, we are going to raise an forms dot validation error, and we are going to say that this email is invalid. So after that we are going to check, put another validation on our email. So we are going to say if length of our email is greater or equal to 350, then what we are going to do, raise error form dot validation forms dot validation error, and we are going to show a message that your, put y capital, and your email is too long. So after that we want to return our email. So that's it for our create user form class in our forms.py, and just I'm going to elaborate it again. So what we are doing here is we are getting auth from django.contrib.auth.forms, and we are importing a class, a built-in class in Django, that is user creation form. And after that we are importing a user model from auth.models in Django, and we are importing forms from Django. So after that we are creating our own class create user form, and we are inheriting that user creation form class. And after that we are creating a class meta to save a metadata, and that metadata contains our model and the fields to register our user. So after that we are initializing again a function, init function, for our class create user form, and we are passing self argument, and those args and quarks are by default for init function. And after that we are going to say use a super built-in function, so it will going to inherit that create user form information to create a user. And after that self, through that self we are accessing those fields if we want to manipulate or check some conditions about that field. So after that we are going to call that function again. You can call it a recursion. So now after that we are going to put our email, mark our email as required. So for username, by default Django have default settings to check the username. If that username already exists, it will show an error. But for email, we are going to put it manually here. And after that, we are to get our email from the user end, we are going to create another uh, function clean email, and we are passing self as argument. So we are declaring a variable email and assigning it to self.clean_data.getEmail, and we are getting that email from that field. So after that we are going to validate that if the email that is entered in the form, if that exists in our user objects, then we want to raise an error that email is invalid, or you can type that email is already existed. After that we are going to raise another error with applying the condition that if that email is too long, that if the length of email is greater than 350, we are going to raise an error, and we are going to say that your email is too long. So that's it for our forms.py, and just save it. So after that, just go to the account, and we are going to create a new folder here, templates. And after that, in templates, we are going to create a new folder, account. And after that, in account, we are going to create a subfolder, registration. And in that registration, first we are going to create a register.html file, new file, register.html. So that's it. For now I am going to just say that h1 tag, and register, just save it, and now I am going to render that in our views. So views, and rather than this HTTP response, I am going to render, and what I am going to render is a request, and after that request the HTML register.html form. So how I am going to access it? First go to the account, after that to register, and after that it's registration, and after that to register.html. So that's it for now. After that just go to check. So here you will see our h1 register tag is showing. So in the next lecture we are going to work on that register.html, and what we are going to use is Django and crispy form. So it's another dependency to make your form look attractive and user friendly. So for this lecture it's done, and that's it guys. If you like my video, just subscribe my channel and press the bell icon, and if you have some query just comment it. I am surely going to answer it. So that's it guys.